Greetings. I'm glad to meet with you on yet another episode. So my name is Michael.
And I'm Carol.
And this is
What the Scale.
So this week we're talking about some more ideas, maybe not so much in the kitchen, but sort of just a chat. We've done this before. And today we want to talk about
not benefits, but tips to help you if you decide to try intermittent fasting.
not only if you decide to try, but maybe you have tried and got discouraged, it didn't work out. So these are some tips. Carol started saying benefits. We did do a session on benefits, but...
Right, you can go back and find it on our channel if you need to look at that one.
And especially if you subscribe.
Yes, we would love it if you subscribe to our channel.
So let's get started. Number one is we do suggest that you do a slow start. Now, what we mean by slow start is decide the hour time, the eating time and the not eating time, or what we call uptime and downtime.
Intermittent fasting can sound really daunting, but if you think about it, you fast every night while you're sleeping.
In fact, the alleged first meal of the day is called breakfast or break fast. So that's, you've gone whatever it is, 6, 7, 8, 9, in my case, 14 hours. I'm kidding. And then you get up and you start your meal of the day or your breakfast. So the start slow is what I recommend, or we recommend, is you do what would we call a 12-12 day. If you want to explain that to them.
You would not eat for 12 hours, and then you would have an eating window for 12 hours. So say from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. you could eat. That doesn't mean you eat the whole 8 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours. What is that? 12 hours.
That's a 12-hour eating day.
You would schedule your regular meals within that.
So it depends on when you want to start. We'll be talking about the breakfast meal in a little bit. So start off 12-12 and jump forward and try the 16-8.
Or just push it back a couple hours. Say, okay, I'm going to do 10 to 8 today, and see and get used to that. And then I think I can go another hour. Okay, let's try 11 to 8 or 11 to 7. You can just, and you'll gradually get to. And everything I've read, some people do 16-8, but you really don't lose weight until you get to about 18.
Yeah, so the comfortable range is 16-8.
Which would be lunch and supper.
Right, pretty much skipping the first meal. Again, a lot of this depends on when your day starts. What we have migrated to is a comfortable 20-hour versus 4-hour eating window. So that sounds long, but again, if you work your way into it, start slow, 24 seems very easy to do, which we have discovered. So
right, and we just go to work, don't have to pack a lunch. We get home around 4:30, have a small snack while we're fixing our dinner, and then we close out our eating window with a snack, and we're done.
Number two.
Number two is do not start with alternate day fasting. I mean, you could, but that's crazy because it's hard.
Yeah, so alternate day fasting is exactly what it sounds like, is you eat every other day.
So it's usually a 36-hour to a 42-hour fast.
Right, and then, so same thing, during the eating window, you do want to be cautious what you eat, but you need to build yourself into that. I would say probably wait at least
we were 4 months before we tried that.
So I would wait at least 30 days. We went a good 3 or 4 months before we did the alternate day fasting. Number 3 is understand what a clean fast is. We learned this through Jen Stevens and others. But there's a lot of folks that say that they're fasting, but they don't understand a clean fast. Simply put, a clean fast is nothing but water, no food whatsoever, which most people understand as far as fasting. But a lot of folks will drink flavored coffee or maybe flavored tea, and that violates a clean fast. Clean fast, if you're a coffee drinker, is black coffee. Now let me tell you something. I've been a
Or
coffee
you can
drinker.
have black tea
Or black tea.
or water, but why?
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
All right, so the reason that's important is as you eat something or drink something that has flavor, the brain begins to send signals with regards to your not only your metabolism, but your glucose control.
Your body will start producing glucose. And you don't want it to, because if it starts producing glucose, you're going to get hungry.
Right, and you're not burning any fat cells. So right. This sounds awkward,
but it's so much easier.
It is.
Your hunger comes and goes. It's not terrible if you only drink black coffee, black tea, or water.
Now, when she says it's easier for the weight loss, I'm going to tell you, if you're a coffee drinker like I was raised, a regular coffee in New England was 2 shots of cream and 2 shots of sugar. That was how I was raised. So converting to black coffee was not easy for me. But I'm going to tell you what, today...
but what's your tip for black coffee? Tell them what you figured out.
Yeah, so 2 things. First, because there's some bitterness. I had learned back in my Army days when we were not allowed to have any substitutes or anything like that, is we put salt, a little bit of salt in our black coffee to sort of take away the bitter taste. My son-in-law one day told me that the real trick is to go to dark roast. I never, ever drank dark roast because I just thought of dark roast as that strong flavor. So I tried it once up at his house, and I just was really amazed. I'd already been drinking black coffee, but trying the dark roast made it a lot better. But then in addition to that, I began buying higher quality coffee beans and grinding them myself, and I now use a French press. And I'm telling you, coffee has come to a whole new meaning for me.
And I'm not a coffee drinker, so I like to have green tea. And both tea and coffee can put you into ketosis sooner, which is what you want to be in to burn fat.
Yeah, ketosis is just the process of burning fat. So black coffee, black tea, green tea are acceptable, water or sparkling water.
As long as it's only tea. It can't be like an herbal tea or a blend like Earl Grey. There's flavors in there that will send those signals to your brain.
Okay.
Your turn.
I did understand clean fast, so you've got number 4.
Plan according to your schedule. So what that means is your window doesn't always have to be the same. Today, we do a 20-hour fast 6 days a week, and on Sunday we do a 16-hour window, just because it's a weekend. We enjoy a Sunday meal. That way we can go out with friends for lunch if we want, and then we have a supper. If you have, say in your work week, you're going to a office party from somebody at lunchtime, well, you can open your window early and you can eat. That's the great thing about intermittent fasting. You can switch it around. Just remember to be consistent and don't go off track too much.
Right, and then also what we mean by the schedule is some of you work 3rd shift, and so your start times are going to be based on your typical schedule as far as when you work and get up.
Some people like a breakfast. They like to eat in the morning. I was never a huge breakfast eater until I started doing Weight Watchers when they kept saying you need to. So now I'm kind of going naturally back to what my body liked in the first place. But some people actually have an early morning window. They'll eat maybe from 7 to 1 o'clock every day, and that's their window. So you just have to figure out where your sweet spot is and do you.
Next one, number 5, is drink sparkling water when you get the urge to eat something, to take a snack. Now, I have not heard this from any of the other authors. I just remember one day I came home and Carol told me about it. I guess that particular day she was feeling an urge and she drank some sparkling water. And as strange as it may seem, the bubbles seemed to act like it was receiving, your stomach was receiving food. There was an action in her belly. So we do that on a very regular basis. Drink sparkling water, but no flavor. Now,
Right.
we are big fans now of sparkling water. If you remember an episode we did while in Mississippi, I did a taste test of different sparkling waters. All those waters
We're
were
sparkling
pure.
water nerds.
Yeah,
Now.
but those were
We
all
like to try 'em
unflavored.
all.
But now we've got a lot of different flavored ones, natural flavors, and my favorite, the name of the brand that I like, what's the name, that death one?
Liquid Death.
They're called Liquid
It'll
Death.
murder your thirst.
It'll murder your thirst. But my favorite one is called Bury It Alive, a play on words.
But
bury
that's a flavored one.
That one is flavored, so you don't want to do that. So what I'm talking about with the bubbles is, again, a plain sparkling water.
Right.
To take away that hunger. And
I heard this on one of Jen Stevens' blogs that I listen to a lot, and someone was talking about having their stomach growling and getting hungry. When you're fasting, if your stomach starts growling and you're getting hungry, hunger pains, they go by. They come and they go. So if you just wait a little while, they usually go away. And when you get them, your body's saying, oh, I want you to feed me. But if you don't feed your body, then it said, well, I guess I'm going to have to find an alternate fuel source. And that's the point when your body starts burning fat.
Yeah.
So when you get those hunger pangs, just tell yourself, oh, I'm getting ready to start burning fat. Go ahead, body, and do it.
Yeah, good. You've got number 6.
Okay. You can delay cooking when you're fasting if you need to, and plan your meals accordingly. I've gotten to the point now I can cook when I'm fasting. It doesn't really bother me.
It bothers me.
It bothers him.
Throughout our 43 years of marriage, she'll tell you one of her biggest pet peeves about me when she's preparing food. I'm in there taste testing everything. It does bother her. So part of the delay the planning or the cooking that I also was referring to, and you remember when we did an episode on mason jars with your fruits and vegetables in the refrigerator, and the other episode where we did a week-long, or actually 12 days of food prep. Sometimes you may want to, especially early on, get into that habit, is do your food prep maybe all in one day for a while and get used to that. And then that way you're not spending too much time preparing and cooking the food, making you hungry.
Right. I think we're only going to get through 10. We're going to have to break this up, don't we?
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the clock. We've got I think it's 31 tips, so we'll definitely break this up.
This will be part 1.
Yes.
Okay. And another thing about cooking is that's when we come home now, we have a little snack while we're fixing dinner. That way I can taste the food. But even if I don't taste it, I always just tell him, if you need to add more salt when we sit down at the table, then... And be careful, because sometimes you can taste something without meaning to, and you're like, oh no, I broke my fast.
So, and especially early on, don't sweat the small stuff. This is not a diet, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But what ties along with the delayed cooking, number 6, is number 7, plan your meals weekly. I already sort of talked about that, but that's just a good thing to do as you're getting started with the whole concept of intermittent fasting.
And now that we're only eating 1 meal a day, our goal is to try to get 30 different fruits and vegetables in a week, so that we get all the different nutrition that we can get. I think our highest we've gotten to is 26.
Yes.
So we're still working on it. We're still progress, but we are trying new vegetables, different vegetables.
New fruits.
Yep. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, really. Just trying different things out.
All right, then the next one is define your reason. You need to have a why. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, we remember this from our Weight Watchers Day, which again is a great program. It worked for us for quite some time, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. But the whole principle of defining your reason. What's your why? Why are you doing this? It may be to lose weight. It may be to get healthier. It may be to regain strength. But
it might be all 3 of those.
Yeah, could be all of them.
But you have to remember that intermittent fasting, even though you do lose weight, you're going to lose it slowly, because your body is actually gaining muscle as it's burning fat.
Now, I do want to clarify a principle that most of us have heard the phrase muscle weighs more than fat. Well, listen, a pound of bricks weighs the same as a pound of feathers.
True.
So muscle doesn't weigh more than fat.
It takes up less space.
All right, it takes up less space. That's
so
the key.
I've gone a month or so before without losing any weight, but I take my measurements and I'm smaller.
And we'll be talking about that as well. But make your reason or your why reasonable. In other words, my reason cannot be fast to grow more hair. It's not going to work. All right? Next one, number 9, understand that breakfast is the most important meal is a fallacy.
That is true. Do you know who did most of the research on breakfast? Breakfast cereal companies. You can look up the research. And what do they have an agenda?
Absolutely.
So our breakfast is every day that we break our fast. That's our breakfast.
That's what a breakfast is. So get rid of the mindset that a 6 o'clock a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. breakfast is the most important meal. That's not true. The most important meal is the first meal, whenever you break your fast, whenever that is. For us, it's typically around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, except for Sundays, when we typically eat a heavier lunch and a lighter dinner.
Yeah, and we do that just to kind of, your body can get used to what you're doing, so we just kind of want to shake it up so it doesn't get too adapted to what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay, and the next one is, and this should be our last one, drink lots of water.
Well, I don't think it's the last one because my next one is drink lots of water.
Yeah, well, those are the last points we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But drink water. It'll fill you up, and you will really be surprised once your body adapts to fasting. You have so much energy. You would think you'd be weak and, oh, I can't make it. But exactly the opposite is true. Since your body isn't using all its energy to digest food, it's sending your brain way more energy and you have so much clarity. It's amazing. If you do it, you're going to realize you want to continue. You want to make it a lifestyle because you feel so much better.
Yeah, and I'll say with this, I kid around a whole lot, but in all seriousness, if you're drinking a lot of water, here's how you're going to know. You're getting up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom. I used to sleep straight through. I'm getting up 3, sometimes 4 times in the night. I really don't lose sleep because I am sleeping so much better.
Yeah, I sleep really good.
Yeah, we do. But if you're drinking...
Some people have trouble sleeping, but I would say the opposite for me.
It's been the opposite for us. And in fact, oftentimes I'd have to take some kind of sleep aid because I struggle, but I just don't anymore at all. But like I said, I'm getting up 3, 4 times a night. If you're not getting up while you're doing intermittent fasting, you're not drinking enough water. No other way to say it. Because your bladder just will not be able to hold. You may say, well, I've got a large bladder. I'm telling you, if you drink lots and lots of water, you will be getting up in the middle of the night.
And you can make it all sparkling water. I love sparkling water. I can't believe that I love sparkling water because before I was pop. I love pop. And tasting, it was nasty. It was like, ew, this tastes horrible. But I absolutely love it now.
And if we were to take our cameras and go show you, I'm almost tempted to do it, but with time I won't. I bet you right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 cases of sparkling water between our laundry room and our garage right now. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah,
because I'm counting the ones that are here.
Yep.
Probably about 10, and all different flavors.
My favorite is Topo Chico mineral water, sparkling mineral water.
And her second favorite for her flavored one is there's one that they have too.
Topo Chico.
Yeah, Topo Chico. She loves that brand.
Twist of lime. It's almost like a Sprite, but not without the sweetness.
And there's they also have a grapefruit brand or flavor.
It comes in a bottle. Like remember the old Pepsi bottles? And it just, to me, it's a treat.
Yeah.
So,
So those are 10 of our 10 or 11, depending on how you want to count the drink a lot of water, since I added it twice,
right.
of our 30 plus tips. So we're going to continue this again on our next episode of
What the scale.